It was in 1990 that I came home from an outing with my aunt to find the house very dark. I didn't understand. Fred's car was not in the garage. And as I walked through our condo, each room was dark. I went from room to room. He wasn't there. There wasn't a light on anywhere except the blinking red light on my answering machine. I pushed the button and I heard that terrible voice. This is the emergency room at Harbor General Hospital. We're looking for the family of Fred Leventhal. With that, my entire world fell apart. I called my son Mitch and said, "You've got to come. You've got to drive me right now." I ran into my closet, threw off my clothes, threw on some sweats, some tennis shoes. I knew it was going to be a long night. When we got to the hospital, we were prepared, supposedly, by the doctor outside of the emergency room. However, nothing, he said, could have possibly prepared us for what we saw. Fred was lying there on a gurney in a pool of blood. There was blood everywhere. His whole left side had been destroyed. He had been driving home from the golf course when a man who had already been arrested for drunk driving, he was actually out on probation for drunk driving. This man, an owner of a bar, sat in his bar and drank beer all one morning and then chose to get behind the wheel of his car. As he drove down the street, he missed a curb and his car actually became airborne, is what I was told from bystanders. His car landed on top of Fred's Toyota. It took the jaws of life to open that can where Fred was. They helicoptered him to Harbor Hospital, and that's where I saw him. Of course, there was a trial. The man was given bail, not as high as I would have hoped. To begin with, his bail was $10,000 for injuring Fred. After Fred died, his bail went up to $25,000. I thought that was pretty awful. He went to court so many times, I just couldn't believe it. Witness after witness had to be brought in. He, remember, was innocent until proven guilty, even though the police came and dragged him drunk out of his car, even though there were innumerable witnesses standing around who could identify him as the perpetrator. That wasn't enough. Everyone had to come to court and testify. He deserved his day in court. His attorney did a good job, not as good as the district attorney. Steve Sitkoff was the DA who became my friend. He was so supportive of me, guiding me, encouraging me, making me feel better. And each time I was in court, I sat there with a representative from MAD, a wonderful organization. This was a lovely lady who was there just to hold my hand, just to make me feel better, and brought me a Hershey bar with almonds, my very favorite, each time. When I finally was able to get back to work, I had a hard time. I thought, can I really do this? I picked up the phone when it rang, and there was a woman's tearful voice saying, "Can you help me get my husband out of custody?" I asked her, I said, "What is he charged with?" And she said, "Drunk driving." My heart stopped. I had just buried my husband. How could I possibly write a bond for this man? I didn't know what to do. I had to really talk to myself and say, "Chickie, this is your job. This is what you have to do." And so I arranged to bail her husband out of custody. I posted the bond and I waited for him to get out. When he came out, he signed all the usual paperwork, and then I let him have it. I told him what had just happened to me. Oh my God, he got so emotional. He said, "Chickie, I promise you, I will never, never drink and drive again." I felt that I had accomplished something good that day. Maybe I had saved another woman from going through what I had gone through.